Hey guys, what's up? MurderofBirds here, and it's official, all right. I am on the bandwagon. I am on the band hype. I am on that band hammer. Ban is so badass. He is so legit. And from the brief introduction that we got from him at the very end of the episode, even after the credits, he's my favorite character thus far. Like, I love his voice acting. I love his demeanor. I love how cocky and confident he is at the same time. And just what he was able to do this episode of what he was showcased just leaves a lot for me to be desired from him. And a lot of people who are manga readers, a lot of people who know, what to expect from him. There's been a lot of hype surrounding Ban about, oh my God, Ban's going to be revealed. Once he's introduced, the series is going to blow up. It's going to, it's going to take off. There's going to be a lot more. It's going to get a lot more exciting after Ban. And I'm really, really excited, especially, oh my gosh, like, he's such a boss. Like, who do you know is able to utilize his opponent's attacks to where he haircut, gave himself that clean shave, that sleek ass design of a hair for his hair, and like the properties of like him as a fighter, as an adversary of these holy knights is ridiculous. He took out those freaking steel poles, those steel like poles inside of him like they were nothing. He had like these jagged holes inside of his body, and I'm just like, dude, you're a badass. And then she turns around and he like auto regenerates, or I don't know if he used her attack and did something that like canceled out like his damage, his injuries that he had. But I was just, it was hype. It was ridiculous. And he's a badass. He's, like I said, he's confident. I love the voice that he has for his character. And one thing that I just would mention is the fact that it's crazy that he's able to regenerate, but he did mention a sense of, what it means to have a real wound, a real scar. And he has like this badass scar that runs down his neck. I have absolutely no idea what that alludes to or where that came from or who gave that to him. But there is something pit of my gut that it just tells me, I don't know how, I don't know why, I have no evidence to support this, but I feel like it was Meliodas who gave him that scar. Either Meliodas or Gil Thunder. And I say Gil Thunder only because that scar looks similar to that of like a lightning strike, like a lightning scar. If any of you know what lightning looks like, if you sustain lightning damage from being struck or whatever. But that's what it looked like. Why I say it's Meliodas, the only rational explanation I have in my mind is from the opening. We get a scene that shows Meliodas in the opening, and in the background, it shows like a rock, and it shows like his shadow essentially, but his shadow doesn't match his appearance. Like, it shows Meliodas normally, and then in the background, it shows like this giant demon-looking shadow in the background, which I guess that resembles like his anger in a sense, or his wrath to his sin. And the only thing that I'm rationalizing in my brain is maybe Meliodas went through some transformation, like some Gone Freaks Hunter x Hunter type of transformation where he just went rampant, he was going crazy, or maybe he even fought Ban back in the day. But literally, that's like wild, irrational thinking that's going through my mind. I don't know if that's true. I don't know anything about this dude, but I feel like his backstory is going to be deep. It's going to be complex. It's going to be emotional. It's going to be epic and awesome. And I can't freaking wait. Like I said, I am on the bandwagon. And, those puns, the bandwagon, the band hammer, I'm a band boy, and the band hammer, like, band's just boss. But before I get into the actual review, I feel so bad for Gil Thunder. Like, the start of the episode, this man gets fodderized. Like, he's already fodder compared to Meliodas. Meliodas was just, toying with him. He already got trolled the last episode. He got that strike to the back, and he was just like, he took that hit just so he can find out what his friends are. And then you saw the troll face that Gil Thunder had, and then a follow-up when he's like trying to strike him, and Meliodas is just blitzing this dude, just instantaneously teleporting. That's how fast this dude is. And then he's like, peace out, dude. Diane just like throws him. And to make matters worse, he crashes into that building and just randomly wipes out all of those people. Like, I just felt really bad for them. But I just feel bad for Gil Thunder because he's badass. He's obviously a really high-ranking holy knight. But compared to Meliodas, it's like, okay, if you're going to go after these seven deadly and you can't take out Meliodas, I'm wondering if as the series progresses, because I'm pretty sure it's going to be like a cat and mouse of Meliodas looking for his companions, and Gil Thunder trying to hunt them down as they do it. It kind of reminds me a little bit of the Avatar: The Last Airbender, because it reminds me of Prince Zuko, how he went and chased Aang, Katara and Sokka as they were going to like different to learn his bending elements. And that's just the vibe that it gave me. But I'm very excited from this episode. The plot was very stagnant. The plot didn't really go anywhere afterwards from Meliodas' battle with Gil Thunder. He obviously is taken, he's unconscious from the actual attack. It did a lot more damage than initially thought. We got a little bit of development with Diane and Elizabeth, essentially their ideals of how they want to perceive themselves as the series progresses. You have Diane, who's this giant woman. She's of I guess she's of a different species, not a species. I don't know. She might be a different species, because when she was being, interrogated and talked down to by those humans, she mentioned, she was like, all you humans are the same or whatever, or she pretty much isolated herself from the humans. So I'm guessing she's a giant, and giants are a different species or a subspecies of humans, and she is very envious, and it fits her personality perfectly, to where she's not just envious of Elizabeth on the romantic aspects of what her and Meliodas, of what she feels her and Meliodas are, but she's very envious to the fact that she's a giant, where she wishes she was more humanistic, to where she's able to have a better relationship, a better romantic relationship with Meliodas, and be able to essentially have the strength that she has, but be able to compensate for not being isolated and ostracized from society. Like how she walked in the village and everyone was running away, afraid of her and scared of her and stuff. And essentially, she's never really had any type of emotional connections, because of the fact that she comes from a different world or a different lifestyle than everybody else, being a giant. And then at the same time, we have Elizabeth, who obviously is self-aware of the fact that she's not the strongest person, and it's kind of polar opposites how these two are thinking. You have Diane, the giant, who wants to be more like a human, and then you have Diane, a human, who wants to have strength and be able to be reliable and have power, and be like dependable, kind of like Diane, in the situation of how she's always there and she's always fighting and always willing to go above and beyond for Meliodas. And in a sense, they're both thinking not just for themselves, but in regards to Meliodas and how they can basically be an asset to him. But other than that, the plot didn't really progress in terms of finding out where moving on towards the dungeon where Ban was. But we got that at the end, so that in of itself was badass. I'm pretty sure Ban's gonna break out. He's gonna go out and find where Meliodas is, since those guards were talking about, hey, these two sins are located in this town or whatever. But the excitement for this episode was I have excitement for the adversaries, because ever since Twigo was introduced and then we got Gil Thunder, we have had a sense of, build up for enemies or opponents or adversaries that we can look forward to, being the Holy Knights. And this whole time I was like, okay, we got Twigo, who was kind of like a rookie Holy Knight. We have Gil Thunder, who is a really top tier, I'm guessing a top tier rank of a Holy Knight. And then we were introduced to this wide variety of different types of Holy Knights. They wore those badass armors, kind of like how the Seven Deadly did during their flashback in last episode. But these guys they just were so intriguing, and I don't know, they just had this vibe to them that was just like, oh my gosh, I'm so hyped. I'm wondering what they're capable of, how they're gonna get, how Meliodas, Diane, and Ban are gonna deal with them, just because now we already have, the sense of what the Holy Knights are capable of in of themselves. But then when you take in the fact of their abilities, we got abilities and spells that are introduced. Diane pulled some like freaking Toph Beifong Avatar earthbending status this episode, and I did a live reaction, and that was hyping of itself. I'm like, dude, she's like doing crazy ass freaking stone pillars out of the ground. That was hype. We got one of those new Holy Knights who also controls bugs with like her whip or anything like that. So she has the ability or a spell that controls bugs, and they were raining acid on the village, to where I'm just wondering now, like, okay, we already have, Gil Thunder is known for his lightning. Diane has rock type abilities. I'm wondering what type of powers or abilities Ban has. It seems like he has instant regeneration to some degree, or that he doesn't take damage, because he didn't take damage from that female, from that brat, essentially, that he was calling her. He didn't take damage from her, but it seems like the damage that he took from her was used to heal him, because when she struck him, he had the damage sustained, and then after she finished her attack, those were gone. So I'm just wondering, like, how does his power or his ability work? But I'm really hyped. I'm looking forward to so much now that we have, these adversaries, these different this different faction of Holy Knights, to where they're actually going to, give our main cast some, a reason to actually get a little bit more action into the series instead of, Meliodas and Gil Thunder in the past few episodes. But other than that, like I said, the plot didn't really progress any, that much. We got a little bit of development with Diane, Elizabeth, how they feel about themselves and, what they have to set out to do in terms of goals of helping out Meliodas. Band's hype at the end of the episode literally made the episode for me, because prior to that, I was just like, we're getting a little bit of subpar content right now. But at the same time, I'm really enjoying it now, because I'm looking for. I don't know when King's going to get introduced, but I'm pretty sure in the next 2 episodes or so. The Holy Knights definitely hyped this episode up for me, as well as the upcoming episodes of how their combat is, what spells or abilities they have, how unique and different they are from one another. And I'm just really hyped. I really did enjoy this episode. But yeah, that's my review. Let me know what you guys thought about the episode, what you guys liked about it, what you're looking forward to. How do you guys feel about Band's introduction? Did you guys like the episode for the hype, for the action, of learning about Diane's earthbending type abilities or anything like that? Let me know in the comments down below. Be sure to thumbs up if you enjoyed, and subscribe if you're new to my channel. I'd greatly appreciate that. Also, if you guys didn't check out already, I have a live reaction on my channel you guys can check out for episode 4. If you guys want to check out, see what my initial raw reactions to the episode. But thank you guys for checking this out. I really appreciate it, and I will catch you guys next week. Take care.